for an invite to the royal family for the 2027 Invictus Games, which could see a long-awaited reunion for the Duke of Sussex and his family. It's been reported that Prince Harry is keen to reconcile with King.
Putting Prince Harry back in the UK on his own mission, touching down solo Tuesday afternoon to celebrate a decade of the Invictus Games he helped to create.
It's our birthday, and we're all very excited and thrilled.
But not reuniting with his father, King Charles. A Sussex spokesperson saying, unfortunately, a meeting won't be possible because of the King's busy schedule.
Oh, you're not going to believe this one. Prince Harry really thought he had cooked up the ultimate comeback plan. After years of slamming his family, spilling dirty laundry in interviews, and painting Charles as this cold-hearted father, he suddenly decided out of nowhere that now was the time to reconcile. And where did he want this big dramatic reunion to happen? At the 2027 Invictus Games. Yes, you heard me right. The same games he created, the one event still tied to his credibility. He wanted to use it as the stage for a royal reunion. Bold? Sure, but also a little desperate, don't you think?
The Duke is understanding of his father's diary of commitments and various other priorities and hopes to see him soon.
So here's the thing. According to palace insiders, Harry tried to package it as neutral ground. He claimed Invictus wasn't about family drama, oh no, but about veterans, resilience, and unity. In his head, it was the perfect photo op. The soldier prince, his king father, and his future king brother standing shoulder to shoulder, sending this Hollywood-style message of forgiveness and unity to the world. But the palace? Please. They didn't buy it for even a second, not even a millisecond.
Relatives for the 7th installment of the Invictus Games, according to the Daily Mail and email.
Harry truly believed his charm offensive would melt the frost at Buckingham Palace. He was wrong. Dead wrong. The reaction from King Charles and Prince William wasn't just a polite decline, it was icy, brutal, and final. Sources say Harry was completely stonewalled. No, maybe later. No, let's think about it. Not even a crumb of sympathy. The message was carved in stone. There's no room for traitors.
And this will be followed by a formal invitation. How do you think this is going to be received? Do you see this playing out the way Harry potentially wants it to?
And here's where it really gets juicy. For William, this wasn't just business. This was deeply, deeply personal. He hasn't forgotten the Oprah bombshells, the Netflix docuseries, or Harry's tell-all memoir Spare. Every jab about his hairline, every dig at his marriage, every detail of private fights Harry gleefully shared. It all cut deep. William, the usually stoic one, is said to carry what insiders call a cold, simmering fury. So when Harry's proposal landed in front of him, there was no discussion, no hesitation. It was a ruthless, flat-out no.
3 miles apart Tuesday. Buckingham Palace isn't commenting on Harry's visit, but hours before he arrived, announced the king will make Prince William.
Charles's reaction, though, was more calculated. He's the king now. He knows the monarchy survives by protecting its dignity. Allowing Harry back into the fold after the Netflix cash grabs, after branding the family racist, would scream weakness. Charles reportedly told aides, the monarchy must endure. The crown does not reward betrayal. Translation, family ties mean nothing when the crown is at risk.
That palace sources feel the same way that I have felt over the last 20 hours since this 24 hours since this story broke, which is...
And guess what? This rejection wasn't sugar-coated with niceties. It wasn't wrapped up in excuses. This was a hard line drawn in stone. For the first time in a long time, Charles and William stood shoulder to shoulder, completely united against Harry. And that unity, that's what made the rejection sting Harry the hardest. It was his worst nightmare. Father and brother on the same team, both shutting him out.
Old regiment at a joint ceremony next week.
In some ways, that will be...
When that palace door slammed in his face, Harry didn't just brush it off. Insiders say he completely unraveled. He was visibly shaken after being rejected by both his father and his brother. This wasn't just a no, it was a humiliating smackdown. Remember, this is the man who built his brand as the soldier prince, who founded Invictus, who thought he had one last powerful card to play. Instead, it exploded right in his face. Epic fail.
Are leaked to the press before they're actually made. So how is this, a genuine reconciliation attempt and not a PR strategy? I think the king...
Here's the kicker. It wasn't only about Invictus, it was about relevance. Let's be honest, Harry's Netflix deals have fizzled, Meghan's Hollywood hustle has taken center stage, and Harry's once bright star power is fading fast. Invictus was his last untouchable safe haven, the one thing no one could really criticize, but by dragging his family feud into it, he turned even that into a circus. And the damage? Oh, it's real.
I think he's got a soft spot for Prince Harry. Hopefully, the king is sick. I hope that he does show up.
Oh, the irony. Harry once accused the royals of of being cold and unfeeling. But now, he's the one being frozen out. The man who saluted his king, the soldier who served his country, is now the outsider. He's the spare-turned traitor. And guess what? There's no path back in.
Has been labelled bland by some critics. Others say it's a great way to see Harry at his finest, at his most natural.
And if anyone thought William might eventually soften up after years of silence, think again. Sources are clear. William's anger hasn't cooled. It's hardened. It's not fiery, explosive anger anymore. It's cold, steady, and unshakable. And honestly, that kind of anger is far more dangerous.
Shines a light on Harry's own experiences, but it's also about the inspiring competitors, and surprisingly has just a light touch from Meghan Markle.
Let's not sugarcoat this. Harry didn't just attack the institution, he humiliated William personally. In Spare, he mocked his brother's receding hairline, painted him as stiff and humorless, and even described physical fights where William allegedly shoved him. That's not brotherly squabbling, that's betrayal broadcast to the entire world.
Only currency dishing the dirt on the royal family. Joining me now is former royal correspondent at The Sun, Charles Ray. Charles, I must admit I have not. Charles, are you there? Are you there?
And don't forget the Oprah interview, where Harry and Meghan branded the royal family racist and cruel. That wasn't just an attack on the monarchy, it was a stab right into William's core values. Loyalty and discretion are sacred to him, and Harry shredded both. To William, Harry isn't a sibling anymore. He's a liability.
Charles, I haven't watched this series, I must admit. Have you?
Most of it, actually.
So when Harry crawled back with his so-called neutral ground Invictus proposal, William's response was frosty enough to freeze the Thames. Absolutely not. One insider even revealed that William didn't bother to hide his disdain. This isn't reconciliation, he reportedly told aides. This is a performance. To William, standing beside Harry for cameras would be a complete sham. Worse, it would hand Harry the redemption arc he's been chasing for years. And William? He's not playing that game.
Thoughts?
Well, I thought it was very, very good because it was about the Invictus Games. It's about.
And here's the royal mic drop. By slamming the door, William wasn't just rejecting Harry privately, he was sending a message to the entire world. No fake smiles, no staged hugs, no glossy headlines about brotherly unity. The heir to the throne has made his decision. And that decision? Reconciliation will never ever be staged on Harry's terms. And Charles, for all the chatter about him being this doting father, let's be real. When push came to shove, he didn't blink. When faced with the choice between his crown and his youngest son, Charles chose the crown. Period. End of story. Harry didn't just target William with his olive branch, he aimed at his father too. A quiet word here, a let's meet halfway suggestion there. But insiders whisper that Charles, though outwardly polite, never once even considered giving in. Why? Because Harry isn't just a son anymore. He's a PR disaster walking on two legs. And let's not forget, Charles waited decades, his whole life, for this throne. He's not about to let one California exile, camera crew in tow, wreck it for him. Charles may not have shouted his rejection from the rooftops, but make no mistake, his silence was louder than any public statement could ever be. Behind palace doors, aides reportedly advised him that meeting Harry on Invictus grounds would look weak, desperate even. It would fuel the dangerous narrative that Harry can force the royals' hand just by flashing a sad smile and showing up with cameras. For a monarch who's spent a lifetime waiting for this crown, that would be nothing short of political suicide. So Charles stayed quiet. No public blow-up, no official dismissal, just a cold, calculated refusal. To Harry, it was devastating rejection. To Charles, it was strategy. And to the public, it was confirmation. Blood may be thicker than water, but it will never outweigh the crown. And here's the knife twist. Invictus was supposed to be Harry's untouchable crown jewel, his baby. Born from his military years, it wasn't about palaces, privilege, or PR. It was about grit, sacrifice, and healing. For years, even his harshest critics admitted the Invictus Games were Harry's one true triumph. But now, that shield is cracking, and cracking fast. Insiders say the veterans Harry once stood shoulder to shoulder with are furious. Instead of letting Invictus shine for the warriors it was built for, Harry dragged it into his messy royal soap opera. Soldiers, men and women who've sacrificed everything are reportedly mocking him, calling him a whiner who turned their arena of courage into his personal therapy session. Brutal, yes, but that's the mood. And it's not just the veterans. Let's talk donors. Big sponsors don't sign checks for drama. They invest in dignity, in honor, in positive headlines. But Harry's desperate attempt to reel his family into Invictus has backfired backfired. Now the event isn't being framed as noble, it's being branded as a Sussex circus. Sponsors don't like circuses. Nervous donors have one habit: they vanish. They pull out. And without them, Invictus can't survive the way Harry dreamed. For Harry, this is catastrophic. He thought Invictus was his redemption arc, his proof that he still mattered beyond Netflix deals and royal gossip. Instead, by trying to weaponize it for reconciliation, he may have doomed it. Some insiders are even whispering that if this spiral continues, the games might carry on. Without him, imagine that. The very project he built, thriving stronger by leaving him behind. That's not just a setback, that's humiliation on a global stage. And if Harry thought the public might come to his defense, well, that hope has shattered too. Once upon a time, people adored him. The cheeky spare, the underdog living in William's shadow, the soldier who served in Afghanistan. People sympathized when he broke free, even cheered him on. But now, the tide has turned, the backlash is brutal. Scroll through social media and the message is deafening. Pity has run out. Many argue this is the price Harry must pay for spilling family secrets on Oprah's couch, for mocking William's hairline in Spare, for branding the monarchy racist and cold. The sympathy card? It's maxed out. People aren't buying it anymore. The phrase, "no room for traitors," is everywhere, chanted online like a mantra. To the public, Harry isn't the soldier prince or the troubled Spare anymore. He's the betrayer, the man who cashed in on royal drama, then came crawling back when the spotlight dimmed. It's a brutal label, and one that might stick forever. And let's not pretend Meghan's shadow isn't looming over all of this. She may not have been the one dialing palace phones or drafting proposals, but critics are crystal clear. This fiasco has her fingerprints all over it. For many in Britain, Meghan isn't just a side character, she's the mastermind. They believe she pushed Harry to step away. She encouraged the Hollywood hustle. She weaponized his pain. Fair or not, that's the narrative. And palace insiders know any reconciliation with Harry will be painted as a win for Meghan. And Charles, William, they will never hand her that victory. That perception poisons everything Harry does. Even when he's standing on a stage meant to honor wounded warriors, Meghan's influence hovers over him like a storm cloud. Every word he speaks sounds less like service, more like strategy. Every gesture looks calculated. Until he can shake that image, the public will never see sincerity, only PR. And here's the harshest blow of all. Inside the palace walls, whispers have started calling Harry something he never imagined he'd be branded with: traitor. This isn't tabloid name-calling. This is deadly in royal language, because traitors, they don't get welcomed back, they don't get second chances, they get erased. Think about it. Harry was once the Spare. Then he was the soldier prince, beloved for his service and cheeky grin. Now, he's being spoken of only as the traitor. It's a title that could define him for the rest of his life. And why does it cut so deep? Because Harry's entire identity was built on loyalty. Loyalty to his comrades, to his country, to his family. To now be seen as the opposite is more than an insult. It's the destruction of everything he once stood for. This is Harry's nightmare. Invictus slipping through his fingers. Veterans angry. Donors nervous. Family doors slammed shut. The one project that gave him purpose, now teetering on the brink. The stage that was supposed to cement his legacy as a global statesman may instead go down as the scene of his greatest humiliation. The games will survive, but will Harry's name survive with them? Or will it be erased, just like the palace wants? And that's the real tragedy here. Harry thought he had one last card to play. Instead, it turns out the deck was stacked against him all along.